Welcome back, everyone, to another segment of the MCR Mac and Me. My name's TJ, and to those who are watching us on Rumble, thank you very much. We're trying to grow this channel on Rumble. So, on to the topic, and this is kind of a sad one, and I'm sure most have heard about this. Some interesting, unfortunate details that thicken the mix, as I sometimes say on whatever issue. But to start off with how this event played out, you have twin brothers in Texas, and Austin Metcalf, and I forget the other twins, Hunter Metcalf. So you have an Austin and a Hunter Metcalf. They're twin brothers. They're competing in a high school track event at a college. I don't see it. Kuykendall Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Okay. Anyways, an opposing player from another school, from a Carmelo Anthony, not to be confused with the athlete of a similar name. Carmelo Anthony from Frisco's Centennial, one of the opposing players. And here's what appears to have happened. The high school of the twin brothers, Frisco Memorial High, they had a team area, might have been a tent, but it was some kind of an area designated for that team. Okay? Carmelo Anthony went into that space. Now, might you say he trespassed? I don't know. But he was in an area where he technically shouldn't have been. Okay? He was told to leave. He wouldn't. And this is where it gets a little tricky here. Austin may have tried to make him leave. And as to how he was trying to do that, I don't know. I don't know how physical the effort was made on that part. But Anthony, and I do believe this was said, don't touch me. So Anthony's in an area where he shouldn't be. He's asked to leave. He refuses to leave. And then when he's made to leave, comments, don't touch me. So did Austin in any way try to physically make him leave? That's possible. That's entirely possible. I say that because it is reported that he was caught, apprehended by the police, taken into custody, put under arrest, and told the police, and I believe this too, he put his hands on me. I told him not to. I have a feeling that was said,
Well, here's where Mr. Anthony crossed the line. If he puts his hands on you, then you can put your hands on him. What you can't do is use deadly force.
Yeah.
And I'm just basing this on what you just said. So, I mean, I don't know what, maybe the kid had a pipe in his hand or who knows what. I mean, I doubt that, but I don't know how his life was threatened to the extent that he needed to use deadly force. And stabbing someone in the chest is deadly force.
Yes.
Especially as it's been proven here.
You know what? If Austin was attempting to remove Anthony, I'm sure Anthony felt disrespected. And you know what happens when one's disrespected?
Oh yeah, you got to kill somebody.
Oh yeah. You know what? And like here in Detroit, if one's disrespected, well, then they must dispense a cap in their ass.
Right.
as we sarcastically say sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So
let me ask you this question, TJ. Have you ever been disrespected?
All the time.
And how many of those people did you kill?
Nobody.
Well, I guess you know what? I guess you're just a biatch.
Yeah. But when, and going back to Carmelo Anthony's statement, he put his hands on me. I told him not to. I believe him.
I do too. And you know what? Here's the thing. Keep your damn hands off people. You're not the police. You're not the security. that I'm sure they had at that school, something.
And I'm getting my information from the Gateway Pundit, by the way. So anyone who questions the details I've reported here, by all means, take it up with the Gateway Pundit. The comment the author of the article wrote was, the race baiting left will try to use this part of this information as an excuse to justify Anthony's sinister actions. And
Well,
I do
did
believe
see it
that.
spun by someone. I forget who it was that it
Yeah.
was self-defense. And like I said, I'm not there. I didn't see it. I only know what's being reported here. But based on what I know, based on what's being reported here, it doesn't sound like lethal force was necessary. And I suspect he's at the very least looking at a manslaughter charge.
Well, the surviving twin brother, Hunter, and I'd like to read his statement here as to the final moments of this event. And it is sad. It was hard for me to read, and it's going to be hard for me to say, actually. But in telling what he knew about this event, he says, I turned my head around, and all of a sudden, I see him running down the bleachers, just grabbing his chest. The blood was rushing out. Then he says later, I went over there. I grabbed him. I pushed my hand on there, motioning to his chest, trying to make the bleeding stop. I grabbed his head. I looked into his eyes. I saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too. And you think of the words of the twin brother there.
Well, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. There was a Fox interview with the mother and Hunter, the surviving twin brother. The mother was so distraught she couldn't hardly speak. I couldn't watch the entire interview because I find this whole situation so disconcerting. I mean, I could say sad, but it's beyond sad.
Yeah, it's beyond sad.
And the brother did most of the talking, and I even said to myself, I can't watch this.
Well, in addition to the young man who literally lost his life, the kid who did it probably lost his too.
Well, speaking of the kid who did it, there's an interview by
allegedly did it.
Yeah. Well, he admits to it, they say.
Okay, well.
The father of the twins, he was interviewed, and he seemed to be taking this event remarkably well.
Matter of shock, perhaps.
Perhaps, but so he's being interviewed, and he makes the comment. I don't have exact words here, so I'm going to try and paraphrase to the best of my memory will allow me. But he says, I forgive this young man, but I have to wonder what kind of parents this kid had. And then he says he brought a knife to a sporting event. And Mac, you and I were talking about it, and you said quite often you keep a knife on you for a variety of utility type reasons.
Yeah, my hands are bad and I can't open anything. And I use it to open. Hell, I've had to use a knife to open a bag of chips.
Well, at my job, I've got to keep a cutting blade because but it's like a high speed flip out box cutter. I mean, every time I turn around, I'm cutting something, box or this or that.
But not your coworkers?
No, and I'm not wearing shorts or a running, an athletic uniform of sorts. I guess that goes to the father's point. They are there to compete in a sporting event, and the kid brought a knife.
Well, I am a parent. You are not. But I can tell you this. This kid's from a culture of violence. And that doesn't necessarily mean he learned it from his parents.
Yeah. But
he might very well have. I couldn't possibly know that, but
well, he could have learned it from lack of parenting.
Well, that too.
I mean,
well, it takes a village, someone once said.
Yeah.
Well, the village can teach you some very wrong things.
Yeah, big time. And if there's a vacuum of parenting, something's going to fill that void. That's for doggone sure.
Yes.
That's all I have about this event. I like twin brother whose life has ended. You have the surviving twin brother who will probably have to live with this for the rest of his life. You have
Yeah, he's not forgetting this.
yeah. I mean, and I go back to what he said. I saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too. Is he gonna? I don't know. I mean, you know what? You and I have seen dead bodies and all sorts of different ways, but to see one like that,
Yeah, I haven't
man,
made any like that.
I mean, so I have all sorts of sympathies for the surviving twin. In the mother's distraught, she couldn't even talk. Then
Well,
you've got
both my daughters ran track, and I had no expectation that they would be stabbed to death at those events. And
yeah,
thankfully they were not.
for whatever reason, felt violence was the solution to all his problems, and now he's gonna. I don't know. He could very well spend the rest of his life, if not 20,
Yeah.
30, 40 years in prison.
Well,
You know?
where he will most certainly experience a lot more violence.
Yeah, and then it'll become more entrenched, and in that regard, it'll be irrecoverable.
Yeah.
You know. But anyways, that's all I have for this very sad event. I just my heart goes out to the parents. This is like I said when I was watching the one interview, I had to turn it off because I couldn't even watch it. I said no, I can't watch this. So that's all I got, and we'll leave it at that. Thanks everyone. We'll catch you in the next segment. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.